So we've been through so much pressure that it's in our DNA to thrive. It's just in our DNA. And if you're not thriving, it's most likely because your ancestors were a bunch of bitches and they did not get under pressure and they didn't have any fucking pressure and they gave up. And that's why you're a bitch. Nobody knows what he looks like and he uses another influencer's name. His name is Baba. Now, Mr. Baba, obviously since you're in hiding, we know that you're a fucking Baba Ganoush. You're made out of a fucking salad and we know that. And me, my friend, I'm gonna be Baba Yaga for you. I guarantee you that if you were to see me face to face, you would piss your pants. But you're not going to show yourself to me. And I already know that. But I'll tell you what. You want war? We'll go to war. 99.6% of men are in prison due to a woman.
Well guys, it looks like we are yet again back with one of the most hated and biggest nuisances when it comes to alpha males that has ever unfortunately got his hands on the internet. And the very man that I would be talking about would of course be King Azoulay, aka that guy who just recently got exposed by John Bravo for appearing to have committed some very heinous crimes in his past, and the guy who made one of the worst response videos that we have seen from an alpha male to date. And it has been quite some time since we covered him last, and I believe it has been about 4 weeks where we had a more lighthearted video where we ended up doing a deep dive into his past and found some pretty funny shit, like him having a failed acting career that had to be one of the cringiest things that I may have ever watched.
Azoulay over here with 11 Talent Agency. I'm based in Los Angeles, California. My hair is brown, my eyes are hazel, and I'm 5'11". Today I'll be playing the role of Brooks, and this is my take.
Don't do this.
Hanging in there okay, Brooksy?
Yeah, Plant. I'm fine.
And you look like crap, man.
You've had PTSD training, right?
Yes, man. Jeez.
I suffer from anxiety attacks. I can't control when they're coming and when they're going. You know, they sometimes just sneak up on me.
Yeah, I know I have something else that sneaks up on you. Enemy troops.
I'm aware, Malloy.
Man, you spaz out and cost someone their life, I won't let it slide.
Everything's 5 by 5, Commander.
What happened in Yemen? I hope you know there was nothing you could.
I know, I'm fine, Commander. I'm here to be your tech expert and lead tactician, and that's exactly what I'm going to be.
Alright, soldier. Hey, anyone gives you any issues, you send them to me.
Won't be any issues, sir. Let's kick the tires. I think I found the reason all the lights are still on, Sergeant. Carter, those green energy signatures we saw outside.
You got more of them.
Not just that, they're vibrant. They look like they were just made, or maybe still being made. Folk!
Brooks.
She's dead.
And this was definitely not the only failed and embarrassing thing that we had found in his past only 4 weeks ago. Because we also found that he was trying to be a rapper at one point, which he obviously also failed at. And man, it was just some crazy shit to listen to. Because my guy really thought he was Eminem out here, dropping an entire speech before he started singing what I can only consider as an assault on my ears.
Let me lead you to freedom. You see, the problem is that people get comfortable. I never allow myself to get comfortable.
Never.
Comfortability kills dreams. It kills inventions. It kills creations. Who the fuck wants to be comfortable?
No one.
Every time I get comfortable, I get out of that situation. And there's a big reason for that. Because if I don't create something and I don't have a goal, I die. And there's this burning desire rising from my gut that tells me, Ben, the motherfucking king, you must go out there and get it. But when you get comfortable, you sleep a little bit longer, you waste more time, your days go by, you eat more shitty food. Fuck comfortability. It's all about success, all about going out there and getting it. And that's what you should be about too. Follow my voice, I will never deceive you. A king and a peasant will never be equal, but that doesn't
So as you can tell, this man has clearly been on a mission to take as many L's in one lifetime as he possibly can on the internet. And the reason I bring up these other things that we discovered in our last video is because they kind of show you a trend of how this guy continues to try things, ends up taking an L, and just ends up quitting. And this is a trend that it appears is continuing as we look at what's happening with his latest venture into becoming an alpha male. And he has been in a straight up complete downfall since he did release that awful response video that he has now deleted, and has been doing anything to try and stay relevant, but it's only making it 10 times worse. And his latest venture was to go ahead and try to start a war with Bubba, who is another YouTuber who covers these complete goobers, and ended up posting this video right here, which is the video that I think really contributed to him going ahead and trying to rebrand by scrubbing his Instagram account clean.
I've been taking the heat for about 6 weeks from all these fake influencers on social media. A lot of them are talking shit about me, but one guy in particular, the guy doesn't leave me alone. Now he hides behind a screen, nobody knows what he looks like, and he uses another influencer's name. His name is Baba. Now Mr. Baba, obviously since you're in hiding, we know that you're a Baba Ganoush. You're made out of a salad, and we know that. And me, my friend, I'm gonna be Baba Yaga for you. I guarantee you that if you were to see me face to face, you would piss your pants. But you're not going to show yourself to me. And I already know that. But I'll tell you what. You want war? We'll go to war. And the other guys that made shit content about me, one in particular, and we know who he is, who started this, him, I'm taking care of him a little bit differently. But you, my friend, I guarantee you, I won't stop until you get off the internet.
So that was a fucking lie.
So our wannabe badass here was obviously just blowing steam and was just straight up fucking lying when he said he wouldn't stop, because he appeared to stop pretty quickly after putting up one of the most pathetic fights that I think I've ever witnessed. Because the way that Timu James Bond here decided he was going to try and fight back was by leaving comments on Bubba's videos, which in turn of course led to Bubba just flaming the absolute dog shit out of this downright goober. And I have absolutely no idea who on King Azoulay's team decided to let him go ahead and post these, but the man tried to cook and ended up burning down the entire damn kitchen. And Bubba made a video specifically about this, where he addressed these exact comments, so a link to that will be in the description, but we'll go ahead and briefly talk about them, since they are a part of this man's incredibly stupid downfall. And the first comment that King Azoulay thought was a good idea to post was about how Bubba's army is crossing the line, because they were sending disrespectful messages to his wife thinking they're tough and not understanding what they're doing was low. King Azoulay then tried to state that he'd be releasing a video that destroys all of the fake news about him in the whole case, even though he was supposed to have already done that, but it blew up in his face and he deleted it. And to this day, there is still not a new video. But he then goes on to say that if his army thinks they are tough, they are instead just a bunch of girls, and he's ready to meet them in person and prove that. And on top of this, the dumbass supposed king here then goes on to try to set a date and time to meet him, and ends up fucking dossing himself like a complete moron. And he just keeps blabbering for another couple sentences before finally finishing his comment. And the best part about this is Bubba basically hit him with, and I'm not reading all of that comment since the king here typed a paragraph, and like the good boy that King Azoulay is, he went ahead and made another comment after deleting this one that was much shorter. And in this much shorter comment, you can just feel the anger radiating off of this complete douche nugget. And he stated that since you don't want to read my long comment, let me debate and write a short one, before claiming that if Bubba or his bitch army apparently want to meet up, then he's at a specific hotel that I'm going to blur out. And Bubba just hit him with a comment stating that he was a lame, before telling his audience not to meet up with this clown. But apparently that didn't stop some of them, and a few of them showed up, and King Dipshit just ended up calling the cops. So if you want to figure out more about that, you'll have to go check out Bubba's video. But it is just pure comedy at this point. And after King Azoulay basically declared war, where he just sat there and launched these pathetic ass comments, he then gave up pretty quick and went back to his normal BS, which is to sit there and rant at his camera incoherently before going on a little tangent about being Jewish. And it all just ends up turning into complete nonsense right when you think that he was finally going to say something that was somewhat productive, because he just starts making some very broad statements with no proof whatsoever.
You know, there's a lot of men out there that hate on Jewish men because Jewish men are all successful. I don't know a Jew that doesn't make at least $15,000. It just doesn't make sense to us to not make at least $15,000 a month. So we don't settle for a job that's going to offer us 5K. We can't. But there's a reason for that. It's not because we are Jewish. It's because men out there don't understand that men grow under pressure. We thrive under pressure. We die under comfort. We're like diamonds. Diamonds grow under pressure.
So right here, when I was originally watching this, I thought that maybe, just maybe, he was gonna bring this back. You know, I don't know what all the Jewish talk was about at first, but I thought that maybe he was gonna make a good message and say that, you know, pressure does make you improve as a person, and that he was just gonna leave the Jewish stuff behind because no one is attacking him because he's Jewish, but rather because he is a fake online persona that seems to have done very terrible things in his past. But instead of continuing this good message, this complete idiot then just starts to call everyone else bitches after he goes through the history of Jews and tries to explain basically why they are not bitches, but instead your ancestors are. And it is just so fucking goofy. Like, I don't understand why, but he just couldn't help himself.
So Jewish men, 4,000 years ago, were slaves in Egypt. Lots of pressure. Then we had to go to Israel, 40 years in the fucking desert. We were enslaved in Rome to build a Colosseum, 100,000 of us. Lots of pressure. We were kicked out of over 100 countries because we were doing so financially well. Lots of pressure. We were also killed and murdered and slaughtered by the Nazis and the genocide. Lots of pressure. So we've been through so much pressure that it's in our DNA to thrive. It's just in our DNA. And if you're not thriving, it's most likely because your ancestors were a bunch of bitches and they did not get under pressure and they didn't have any fucking pressure and they gave up. And that's why you're a bitch. Because if you're successful as a non-Jew, it's because your family's been under pressure for generations and generations.
So obviously, we are just making a ton of big, broad speculations and generalizations of entire cultures and peoples, and this shit's just ridiculous at this point. Because yes, people do grow under pressure, but that does not mean that just because you're successful and you're not Jewish, it means that your ancestors went through a ton of hard shit and that's what built up to your success. And he then goes on to continue to just make broad generalizations and sits there and talks about how he's mad because I guess he received a few comments stating that the only reason he is rich is because he's Jewish, which is also just stupid and he shouldn't even have bothered responding to it. But he just continues on with his goofy ass ranting. And I just want you to keep in mind, there is a lot more serious things against him that people are mad about, and the fact that he's Jewish is just besides the point. No one gives a fuck. Nobody cares.
So stop giving me that Jew shit excuses, okay? They're like, oh, you're Jewish, that's why you're successful. Why? Why? What does that even mean? No. It's because no matter what, we thrive and we push forward because of all the pressure that we had on us. And that is one of the things that I teach in every single one of my mentorships. I gave the Jewish teaching. I teach you how to preserve money, how to invest money, how to grow your money, how to work as a team with your family, with your friends, how to fundraise. That's what I teach you guys. I teach you guys real business that creates generational wealth. And I guarantee you that every single Christian that has been through my programs said the same thing. This is amazing. They don't teach this to us in the Christian community.
And I guess that after this, it all was just too much for him. And it is truly amazing how he can end up turning a decent message into just a complete shit show. because for some reason he has to link it to him being Jewish, or maybe just has to make some broad generalizations about the Christian community, or just calls your entire ancestry a bitch, when some of the things he said does have a little bit of substance. Now, I don't know if his courses are teaching all of that, since the only thing I've seen from him is him yelling at his camera, or just sitting there and being mad, followed up by him just saying some of the dumbest shit that I've ever heard. But it seems like that all of this led up to the king's breaking point, and Queen Azoulay here went ahead and ended up scrubbing his entire Instagram account clean, and only ended up having about 10 posts left. And I can only assume that he's trying to do a rebrand, because I did find a couple of videos that were still on there that were recent, and in fact were the only recent videos, and it appears that his rebrand is going to be as stupid as his current brand was, because he is just throwing in some random ass facts again with no evidence that don't even make sense.
A woman can make you and a woman can break you. You have to truly be careful what woman you choose for your life. 99.6% of men are in prison due to a woman.
Nigga, what?
Some of these men just wanted to get something nice for their girl, and they went and robbed the place. Some men killed another man for another woman. If the devil can't get to you, he will send you a woman. Just remember that.
So we are just straight up making up bullshit now. I don't know where the hell he got this statistic, but every way that I look at it, it doesn't even make sense. Because I know damn sure well that 99.6% of all men in the world aren't in prison, but I also know that 99.6% of men who are in prison aren't there due to a woman. And I don't even know why he felt the need to say that, except to try to grab attention and just hope that people wouldn't realize that he didn't provide a source and would just ignore it and accept it as truth. And along with this video, he also had other ones, like the one you're about to watch, where it is basically him just pretty much saying, do as I say and not as I do, because the man's talking about giving an authentic, real impression on the first time you meet a client, when I don't see anything in this guy's life that is authentic whatsoever.
When you meet somebody the first time, they want to feel your energy. They want to feel that they could trust you. When I come into a house and I see a client, I first of all give them the best energy and show them that I care about what it is that they want. When you truly care about the client and not think about yourself, they can feel that on you. They feel that you are genuine. Being genuine is one of the most important parts of doing sales.
And yeah, man, I don't know about you guys, but when you meet somebody new, I doubt that they want to be assaulted by you, or your brother and a friend, which it appears that actually happened according to all of the court documents that John Bravo provided. But hey man, if that's what really did happen, I guess it was just him trying to be authentic and genuine. And other than these two goofy ass clips, the only other things I see him posting are basically just his attempt at some motivational videos, where it looks like homie has entered his depressed phase.
People are at war with themselves. They cannot get along with themselves. So to get along with more people, it's very difficult. That's why most people are fake. Because if they really told you what it is that they feel about you, you're most likely not gonna be their friend. The ones that look perfect on the outside are completely destroyed on the inside.
And yeah, it appears that the supposed king's downfall has finally come to an end, and it's looking like that Bubba has completely gadooshed him into deleting his own platform. So I would personally like to congratulate him on winning this supposed little war that King Azoulay started, that has now led to him scrubbing his Instagram account clean and pretty much quitting. But with that said, I think I'm done here, and that's enough of this phony for one day. So if you enjoyed, please drop the sub and the like, and I'm out. Watching King Azoulay continue to fall apart. In peace.
If they speak good about you, that means you're doing something good, keep going. If they speak bad about you, that means you're doing something better than them, keep going. As long as they still speak about you, that means that you're still alive. You have not died yet.